Welcome to the video in case you're watching this on YouTube. I'm Dodo, a League of Legends coach, currently working at TDS where we promoted into LFL and are currently top 2 at the French Cup at the Coup de France playing against Team Geo in the finals on the 1st of November, so check that out. Otherwise, back to another review here. As always, live on stream, so check that out. Link is in the video description. G2 against Weiwei Gaming. I've heard the game was basically the same as the previous G2 game. However, I actually have zero idea about draft, and I have zero idea what actually happens outside of, apparently, G2 winning, then throwing at Nash, and then winning again. So let's kind of figure out what actually ends up happening, and see what we can learn from that, and what potential teams might even do, or be able to do better. Not saying I'm necessarily right? Because I'm also using those games, of course, to learn. Okay, my voice is already cracking a little bit, but it's gonna be fine. Okay, G2 against Weiwei Gaming. Let's start a little bit with the bans. Poppy, interesting thing that we've seen multiple times now, and I feel like it's one of the better just bans you can go for in case you don't need to go for anything specific. Does open you up for some easier B1s like Rel, which G2 I think might still end up doing. Potentially like even Jarvan or Renekton B1 if you want to go for it, but we've seen teams do it less. But considering Rumble was banned as well, right? This might just be a Renekton because these are two champions that we've seen quite often into the Renekton pick. Weiwei is actually the thing that I've talked about against G2, I think, in the last review we did, or at least in another review. And that is banning Draven and Kalista. I'm not a big fan of just banning Kalista against a Draven player, because if you're really that scared of dominating lanes, then you probably should ban Draven, especially against Hound Summer as well. For me personally, though, I'm really wondering why teams have such high ban priority currently on Kalista, which I still don't fully understand yet, but in case anyone has a better idea of it, please do let me know, because I'm actually a little bit unsure why people do it that much. The Jarvan ban, I feel like can just be an overall ban. It can also just go into the direction of Orianna B1, in case G2 wants to go for it, and in case Orianna gets banned here, maybe based on that it's a Renekton. Based on Rumble ban especially. Okay. I would just gonna see Orianna then. For me, Orianna is a better B1 than Renekton is, at least on a really high level. G2 also previously played a lot of Rel, so they might go for that. But if I'm them, it's just Orianna for me personally. Yes. How can Weiwei answer that? Well, champions that are still open are like Renekton, there's Talia, there's Rel, right? A lot of teams highly prioritize Xayah Rakan, so maybe they just want to go for that. Because G2 didn't pick one of those away. Then again, Xayah is not really that nice to play into Orianna, but some teams really have the same priority on it, so maybe Weiwei just picks that up. I'm not sure if I'm missing any other champion, so I reckon with Maokai is either Xayah Rakan or it's like something like Talia Renekton or something, for me personally, that I expect them to do. Okay, Vi? You just like Vi? Is it Kaiser? It is just Kaiser. What does it mean? Well, Kaiser kind of says as one thing, and that is Weibo is moving for like a sort of catch/engage composition. Right? So what do we want to do? Well, we want to do two things. Of course, we want to receive the composition with even picks like Xayah that can be very, very good in these sort of compositions, right? Because she's fairly safe. She's really happy if teams engage onto her, right? But we also need to do one thing, and that is secure yourself a decent side laner, because Orianna will not be able to pick side lanes against Vi, Kaiser, plus potentially like another champion that can side lane well. So for me, that means, if you really want to, you can go Renekton anyway. But for me personally, I'd like to delay top lane pick, because I want to make sure I've got a decent side laner to fix side lane later on. And I'm just going to the direction of just receiving. So depending on how many jungle answers you have, you can delay it and just go, for example, Xayah Rakan. You can just end up picking Xayah plus a jungle. I feel like that is fine. Or you can do the G2 Cockmore Brom. G2 Cockmore Brom, I think, is also completely okay. Let's see what G2 goes for. I think there's a multitude of options. But Xayah Rakan is like the meta answer that we would see like other teams usually go for here. I really would not like Renekton here. I really don't think I'd like Renekton here. I think I'd like to delay, so just Rakan or jungle. Yeah, okay. And because we've got Kaiser and they just went Rakan, in my opinion, you should end up picking support here. I know there's a lot of people that say you've got a lot of supports here technically, right? So, of course, you could argue, well, there's Rel, there's Nautilus, there's potentially Leona, there's Alistair, and a lot of teams have high priority on Alistair, but I don't really like Alistair here. I think Leona is a mediocre champion, so for me, like, what I'm really looking forward to is, like, Rel slash Nautilus, and I think I prefer them over most of the mid lane answers you can have. It kind of depends on how many mid laners you've got as options here. But I think usually you're gonna have more mid laners. While Orianna is strong, I don't like if you're just gonna match it with another control mage anyway. I think you can just delay that and secure yourself a better support, in my opinion. If you don't, well, I hope we're gonna end up seeing some support bans. So I reckon this is just gonna be Nautilus Rel bans, right? Or it's Crisp. I think Crisp is a blitzcrank player, so if you think he's really crazy, you can ban Blitz. But I'd rather reckon something like Nautilus and Rel that I think he's going to prefer to play. And if you're Weiwei Gaming, probably going to ban out some decent top lane blind picks that are fairly decent on side lane. If you want to, you can do Renekton. If you want to, if you're playing against BrokenBlade, you can do something like Olaf even. Which I guess TheShy doesn't really mind too much playing against, right? But I guess that is an option. Nautilus is first ban, right? Not a surprise there. I'm really wondering if you just ban up jungle here because I'm not sure which top laner like to ban here. Yeah, okay, they just banned Lee Sin. Yeah, I wouldn't like. I kind of wanted to continue to ban out top laner C myself, but I actually don't know which top laner they can blind pick here. They don't really care too much about silence. So I'm really wondering what Jita's gonna go for here. And of course, you're not giga reliant on having a top laner that side lanes, but against a composition that can side or like catch you in side lane that well, it is quite scary, especially because receive compositions want to be able to walk onto mid lane together. For a multitude of reasons, right? Like they want to be on objective first, for example. Because if you want to receive the enemy at their objective first, well, they don't need to run to you, right? They're already on the objective. Is it just Rel? Oh, it's Jax. Okay. I reckon it should be Rel then. Right, just go Rel. Just go Rel. Just go Rel. Okay, people think Cassandra's OP. Okay. I think, like, I really hate going Cassandra here, though. I don't think Cassandra is that broken. And one problem that I have with Cassandra is now you do allow G2 to secure themselves a strong side lane. With, for example, a pick like Gwen you could go for. Or you can do Olaf. Or you can potentially do Garen if you're Adam. Right? There's a multitude of options you have here. And this enables you to have a winning side lane, which enables you to have easier moves towards mid to really set yourself up to just play one mid lane wave and then play towards the objective. Doing that with no winning side lane, and especially really vulnerable champions like Orianna, I think is fairly hard. So if I'm Weiwei Gaming, I'd really like to just delay top lane pick here and just pick support here. Right? So the only reason you go Cassandra here is either if you're scared of G2 going for it, and Cassandra here is fairly good, but I don't think he's that OP. Especially because you still get a counter pick. And or of course if you really need Cassandra here, but I don't think you really need Cassandra here either. So I think this is actually a massive mistake. I think it's actually a really big mistake. In terms of jungle, I don't know what to pick though. I think you're just gonna play whatever jungle you prefer here. In terms of just going down the meta priority list now. Ooh, it's Yone side then. Okay, that works. Okay, it's just Rel, sure. I forgot that Rel is still open. G2 didn't ban it. Okay, sure. Rel is fine. And now you're in a position of... Well, you're sort of out engaging. G2 even picked your Rel away, so that kind of sucks. Right, so in a way, Rel is a really good jungle here, of course, right? And you pick it away from Weibo as a potential pick. And you secure yourself a winning side lane that is also quite good in teamfights later on. Honestly, if I could decide which draft I prefer, I definitely take blue side, I think, every day. Weibo Gaming is full running into G2's composition, and G2 is basically full receiving composition that is now allowed to win side lane. And by the way, if you're picking like an engage catch composition, you want to have winning side lane yourself as well as Weibo. Because how do you catch people? Well, you catch people if they're alone. And the way people are alone is if they need to split up, and they need to split up if you're pushing through side lane. Right? Because otherwise they're going to continuously lose waves. But you're not necessarily even playing through... you're not even necessarily playing for full team fighting anyway. So now you've got losing side lane. I guess Z is like kind of okay, but Yone is really scary on side. It's actually fairly good pick here by BrokenBlade. And honestly, like I prefer GT's compositions by far, right? If we just look at lane states, Zaire Khan, in my opinion, is more than able to just match or even win Kaiser Diona. Orianna is probably the best like mid laner in the meta. She's very versatile, and if you still have a good matchup, even when you B1 in champion, well, that is fairly good for you. Umbrella is chilling. Yone is sort of winning lane against Cassandra, and definitely Giga outscales him, right? And if we look at it from a teamfight perspective, really, really great. If we look at it from a side lane perspective, really, really great comp for G2. Right? So if this, for example, was even skill teams, I would honestly call this at least a 70-30 for G2 here. So really well done by Dylan. And yeah, not a surprise that G2 ends up winning the game in the late game apparently. Again, don't know exactly what happened. I just know G2 apparently won early game, and then threw it Nash, and then won a game anyway. Alright, so let's actually end up seeing what's gonna happen. Weiwei starts with a double river ward start, which for me is interesting. Because for me, like a double river ward start means that you're scared of them ganking you. I'm wondering why you're scared here, because Orianna Rel should not be allowed to kill Azir. So are you scared in the idea of you might be able to zone out Azir's mana, right? Because you can't kill Azir, but if he needs a QE out, he's 0 mana. And you're scared of giving Caps control of the lane? Is this a ward to scout for potential invade? But this is not a ward to scout for an invade. I'm not too sure why they would. So it must be 4 mid, but I don't see why unless you're really that scared of Azir mana. But I don't have like good enough understanding of the game to understand why they go for it here. Man, BrokenBlade, you're such an asshole. I don't know if it's that good to go that deep though. Like you get a vision. I guess you don't lose anything in top, but it's still a little bit crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Okay, now Weiwei just wards for bot side here, sure. And you can try to look for a gank, but you don't find it here. You're gonna walk around, just still gonna look for it. Are you gonna jump from behind? No, he's trying to walk in for the brush like that. Okay. Doesn't end up in a gank that works out, but Light does lose his summoners. Yeah, well, actually, it works out the gank. Nice, well done by Mickey. Very nice, very nice. But still, I don't understand the double vision around mid. I'd rather would have had some other information on what Rel is doing. And now, as always, we've got winning lane states, sort of. I mean, bot lane now is winning at least, right? So what do we do as jungle, especially low economy jungles, when we are winning lane states? And that is make sure the enemy jungle is more useless than us. Especially if the enemy jungle is a champion that is fairly reliant on level 6. Like Vi. Maybe not as reliant on level 6, but it is a massive spike, right? So if Weiwei is useless on his Vi, and we're useless on his Rel, then we are winning, right? So what do? We just walk into enemy jungle, scout where Weiwei is. If we know where he is, he obviously can't gank. And try to 50-50. And it turns out that for Rel, you're not really 50-50. Rel Q Smite is always winning. And Weiwei perfectly kites it into the brush. So unlucky. Okay, yeah, I can mess up a little bit. Needs to flash out. But it's still sort of okay. Hansama just gets a crash here. Gotta try to one-shot the wave under the turret, and then just look to go for your first base here of the game. Yeah, Weiwei's not even thinking about going bot. Like, he knows he's not going to be there in time. And then you're kind of chilling. You're a little bit behind though now as Yike. So it didn't turn out to be as good as it could have been. The idea is still good, right? You look for the bot lane gank here, Kaiser loses sums. You try to invade Vi to make him more useless, try to contest their camps. You mess up your W, so that is a little bit unlucky. But at least you got your bot lane into a pretty decent state. They get the first base, and I think the lane state after like the first few levels is really favorable for Xayah. I'm a bit scared of losing my Raptors here. So here, then the question is, can we get some better information? Like if we look at Caps' ward, why did he ward there? That is a lazy ward by Caps. This is a really lazy ward by Caps. Especially if you know that Caps warded there, and considering how Caps moved, they have like fairly decent understanding, it looks like. Right? And that sort of ward never does anything in case enemy team are stupid, in my opinion. So here, I'd rather you would have even not warded and just make sure that, or like earlier, here. I would have just warded a bit deeper so you have better understanding of what DIE is doing. Because now you're here on top side and you have zero information about what's going to happen with your Raptors. You could argue that you probably can't easily contest it anyway, but you got Rakan move, right? So maybe you can. And by the way, very well done by Mikyx again. Getting Raptors. You already did it last game. Very big fan. Very big fan. Wait, I need to move my cam actually. My bad. My bad. I don't want to block the sponsors. I don't know if I'm not allowed to lock the sponsors, but I also just don't want to take the risk, huh? I also don't want to take the risk, I think. We're just going to look to clear our cams here a little bit. Yike's probably going to reset off the wolves. Caps is just going to take the wave from the base. Should hopefully have lost chapter. Not hopefully. He should have it, but he stays because Azia hard pushes. So you're just going to take one more wave and then go base. Okay, didn't have it. Oh no, okay, he did have it, but he just decides to go for potion and control ward as well. Okay. That is fine with me. So early game, going fairly decent for both teams. Only problem that you have here is, of course, that Weiwei is going to accelerate his experience a decent bit. And Yike will be a little bit behind. So that is something that can be scary if Weiwei is able to abuse that. But I don't really see how Vi level 6 is going to annoy Rel too much. Gonna look to get control here. Move towards bot side, get bot lane crash. I don't know if you can easily play this Jake here. And Hansama is fairly strong. I mean, this fight is still like a little bit scary here. Your mid laner is not able to move here. Yeah. I don't... Like, in a way, I really respect G2 for going for very aggressive plays, right? And really just trying to push their lead as much as possible. But that trade does not seem easy to take, especially because you lose so much HP on it. Look, Yike HP. Like, Yike is like 40% HP at the end of the trade contest. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, honestly. I'm not sure about that. Yeah. But Yone Cassandra seems like a really good matchup for Yone, huh? Seems like a pretty decent matchup for Yone. And now we might actually get into a problematic area with not having level 6 and Vi having level 6. So let's kind of see what happens. But with the Draco, I'm not really happy about it. I mean, G2 should play to stall Heraldry in my opinion. No, they're starting. It's actually really interesting like how fast G2 plays. Because the usual thing would be to let Hansama take the wave, one-shot next wave, and then shift up. Right? So you're going to look for like a Herald time on like 840. It's like usually what you would do. Because Kaiser still needs to base. You can open here, but if she opens here, you just want your next wave. She's going to lose the wave because I can hit blades. Right? So what you usually would do when you have first reset on bot lane is you take the wave, you walk up next wave, you one-shot, and then you sort of move, and if enemy team moves, you just hit turret. But G2 just starts it. Are they starting it to delay it? No, it doesn't seem like it, right? So he's starting it to actually do it. For me, that's really interesting. Are they more scared of Kaiser roaming? But I feel like if Kaiser roams, it's actually winning for you, so I'm not too sure about it. Let's see if the level 6 on Vi does make a difference. Oh, looks like it does. Yeah, looks like it does indeed make a pretty fairly big difference. Ooh, Caps is popping off. Nice, GG. Oh, we gotta watch that fight again. We gotta watch that fight again. Weiwei's trying to get onto Caps. A little bit deep, honestly. Yeah, it's a little bit deep. Nice Xiaohu by Xiaohu. Mikyx flashes. Really aggressive positioning by Mikyx, but really well done. Yeah, fairly good. And Hansama's getting some turret damage in. I'm wondering what Hansama is doing afterwards. Is he still just gonna continue to push bot? Yeah, he is. Is it just because of plating and he's just gonna move away afterwards? After that wave, he's still gonna stay in bot? Or are you gonna fall back? Nope. Gigi does not give an inch of breathing room for Weiwei in a way. Okay, interesting. Really interesting. But G2 really prefers Hansama to just continue to get eco, and they still just contest every objective. First dragon they contested it in the first game they played against DK. I thought they over contested a little bit, right? So they ended up starting an objective and just giving it. Ah, nice, my bro. But it does end up with Hansama like fairly fed. Like he's 20 CS up, he's a plating, like a solo plating up. Hansama is getting really strong. And the champion is very good, that guy. Really interesting how aggressive GT plays. Like it's so different to any EU team, and I mostly watch EU teams. Also, just the insta herald on the bot lane, right? I mean, here, like if you try to plan to dive, it makes a lot more sense, right? But we wouldn't see that usually either, especially not in Europe, right? So in Europe, usually you herald side lane only to get the turret, or maybe like that. But that is more like an LPL thing from what I've seen, right? You herald side lane if your AD carry gets mythic on the base. If your AD carry gets mythic on the base, you can herald side, or if you can take the turret. Because if you can take the turret, obviously, afterwards you can push the wave deep, you can reset, and you're gonna have a really easy timer on the map to just begin like full control around midsection. But here they're just playing really fast. They get herald and they're instead trying to use it again. Most teams do not. Most teams wait. G2 is playing for like the maximum gold they can have at every second in the game to continue to push their lead. Like they legitimately just do not wait. Because most teams would wait to look for a herald on mid lane timer, to potentially get a turret with it. The G2 insta places it and then, well, nice, we can get a dive as well, nice. Here in that case, well, Hansama does end up getting his mythic. Not, well, it's not a mythic, I can say, right? But his first item. But yeah, you're in a really nice position now. Xayah is so fed, man. Xayah is so fed. At that point, you just open through bot, you just try to get a turret. Yep. Yep. Well, I was trying to defend it, but it's really hard. Xayah is giga fed. Caps also just rushes mythic. Yike just rushes mythic. Like the way I look at wait, Hansama got caught. Fuck. Ooh. Well, that is a little bit of a disaster. That is exactly, by the way, why I said we're just gonna open through side. Brother Yike, where you at? But jokes aside for a second, right? I feel like G2 just plays for their item spikes insta. Right? Not finishing boots, just going for the spike. Just going for the spike. Because just being strong allows you to get even stronger. Yeah, well, Hansama, this is like horrible though. Like, first of all, walking up on your own, not ulting the Leona ult. I mean, it's just really, really big. I think Hansama just FQ'd away, honestly. But FQing away when you walk up to the turret might not be the best idea. Because that is a massive throw, bro. That is a massive throw. Because now Kaiser's actually back into the game. Right now she can match you. Before she really couldn't. No, he didn't. He just queued. Yeah, this is just Giga int. Man, I love Hansama, but that was Giga int. Hansama is still opening silent though. Because especially like after minute 14, right? It's like minute 15, like 14:30-ish. Yeah. Usually, I mean here, I guess because of getting the turret, right? They end up doing it. Yeah, well, okay, you just end up getting the turret and then again as well. But still, usually, like a lot of teams in Europe would just move mid lane first, like with the AD carry, and then play like one mid lane wave into bot lane afterwards. Okay, but now GT of course are just gonna put the AD carry into mid lane. The only problem, like I said, is Orianna, like playing on silent as Orianna against Vi is really scary. But he should have midsection control, so you should be able to push in the wave and then look to shift. And because you're contesting Herald, Vi is probably not going to be there. Okay, TP play. Well, doesn't turn out that good for Weiwei. But you don't have TP yet on Orianna. And you're not in position, so it's not the easiest fight to take here. I'm wondering if GT's even going to take the fight or if they're just going to run down mid. I'd run down mid. Yeah, just run down mid. Just run down mid. Really hard fight. Okay, TheShy is inting. TheShy is inting. Okay, it's fine. Okay, no. I really would have expected GT to do the GT thing and just still contest, but it's not a good position, right? You're from the back composition, you're not there first. Right, you're there pretty late actually. Enemy team has really good potential flanks onto you. There's no reason to take the risk. I'd rather make sure we get the reset ASAP. And then look to position ourselves quite early onto the objective for the Mountain Dragon. G2 is fairly late here. Okay, never mind, they're not basing. You want to stop basing? Okay. You want to basing here is, or would be quite horrible because you're really late. But here again, like, they already just started the objective. It's actually crazy. They just end up getting it, but you might be able to find a good fight here. Yeah. At least get a good fight. You should not go too deep on bot because Weiwei just gonna herald mid. Yeah. You continue to chase them down. I'm just gonna die to Rakan, right? Yeah. What the heck is going on, man? What is going on? Hansama's getting caught again. Oh no, Mickey, no. The VIE. Hansama is getting caught 2 times already this game. That feels bad. That feels really, really bad. Yeah, we're late here. They're already on objective. We also helped them do it, so that feels a little bit bad. If we didn't hit it, then they would not have been able to take it that fast, and then it would be a 50-50. But here, Hansama like getting just caught again. Just a little bit sad. It's just a little bit sad. Good morning. You're crazy streaming same time as well, Sabibi. I respect the grind though. I don't have time probably during the other times, that's why. I'm gonna try to stream as much as possible after Worlds, but I don't have that much time. Understandable? Stop calling me gold, bro. I'm the biggest noob of all time. I need your opinion? Yeah, please tell me. Okay. Let me check. You didn't fix bot lane yet? Yeah, I was about to say, you didn't fix bot lane yet? Are we just gonna look to flip Nash right now? Because otherwise, It's so hard to fix bot lane wave state. We can't take the wave anyway. Might as well make them answer us on top side. What's your thoughts on Kaiser having such shit win rate like Xayah's and Mega Smurfing? I think Kaiser's good. I think Xayah is a bit overrated, but people don't draft well against Xayah. The only thing they draft as Xayah counter is Ezreal, and most teams suck at playing with Ezreal, and most teams suck at drafting with Ezreal. Big example is, for example, like BDS's playstyle of where they drafted Renekton with Ezreal, and they ended up not having high damage in mid jungle, and then late game, if enemy has like one tank, you can't kill them. So that makes Kaiser Xayah a lot better. When would you pick Ezreal though? You can pick Ezreal against against Xayah. You can. Ezreal is good against Xayah. The only problem is, I think Giga Wix at Ezreal is really bad. Right? That's why people like pick it with Renekton, right? So you have like an early champion that you can play through. But the problem that you have is if you fall behind with Ezreal, or like with as the Ezreal team, you're in a Giga shit spot because you just have 0 damage. I don't feel like the champ just takes so long to exist. I don't think it does. I think you need like 2 items. I think Ezreal is just a 2 item spike champion. But you need to have other DPS with it, otherwise you're in a shit position. The good thing about Ezreal is not the damage, it's that this champion is really hard to catch and he is poke. But if you don't have the DPS to kill someone when they engage onto you, then the poke you have doesn't really matter. Someone had a really good comp against G2, I don't know if you remember, they had a Zia Jace Varus. Yeah, I talked about it in the other G2 review. Right, where the beginning of Damwon I thought was really bad, but then considering they had they went for Jace Varus later, the poke actually made a lot of sense. But even there, we kind of saw the problem of, well, if you get engaged on, it doesn't really matter that you have poke. And we had the problem of, if you end up playing Jace in top lane, you usually struggle with finding engage later on. And that puts you in a bad position if you're behind. Because if you don't have engage tools when you're behind, it's really hard to catch people. It's really hard to get a catch or to force on a side to enable you to get like a man advantage to actually contest. That's the problem with poke, and that's the problem with Ezreal also, in my opinion. Is if you're behind, like, it's so hard to play. If you're ahead, Ezreal is giga broken. Like, if you're ahead as Ezreal against Xayah, this game is so free, but if you're behind, it doesn't matter, because the poke doesn't matter. Okay, it's a G2 Baron throw. Okay, that was a G2 Baron throw I thought about, okay. The idea here is good, but the idea here is only good as long as you play to just get the Cassandra TP. The second you get Cassandra TP, I think you need to go out. I don't know if they're scared of Weiwei just taking over Nash, but it's still like 5k HP. Also, I'm not sure if I like BB positioning here. Can you not walk up as BB here and then look? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, well, that's not good. Well, that is indeed not good. Is G2 gonna soul diff again this game? Apparently not, because you're 3 souls behind, 3 dragons behind. So you're probably not gonna soul diff. I guess you're gonna comp diff later, and you're gonna side lane diff, but... I mean, right now, Weiwei has Nash, they're ahead with the composition, it's very good at catching you in side lane. They should be easily able to just open mid, and then run down mid into side lane. Okay, Weiwei running down mid. You don't answer? Okay, okay. G2 just starts Drake. Okay, makes sense because of Soul, but... That is indeed a scary fight. TheShy has fairly good positioning. Needs to get zoned out. Hansama gets caught again, not the best cleanse. I guess he wanted to save it for a second. To see if they'd actually commit. You're trying to find an engage on the Kaiser, but now you just get one shot. Wait, we gotta watch this fight in. There's too much happening here. This is not the hyper carry where nothing is happening. So let's actually watch it in 1x speed. Let's actually watch it in 1x speed. Okay. Yike is trying to find an engage onto Kaiser, which in a way is interesting because why should Kaiser be scared? Like, you don't have the damage to kill her anyway. But in a way, Yike just completely baited everyone to just commit onto him. And now you use all the tools and Hansama is still alive. So maybe that's like Hansama diff. Okay, no, it's not Hansama diff. Well, this game, I don't know how the fuck GT wins that, honestly. I've seen people meme on K-Drill for saying, for like, not believing in G2, but honestly, like, if I see that game, I'd also not believe in G2. As a big EU fan, I also do not believe in G2 right now. For them to win that game. How do you win that game now? You're 8k gold behind against Mountain Soul, which gives you, I think, basically the most gold value based on his stats alone, because Mountain does... You know the outcome of this game? Yeah, I know G2 wins. No, I always know the outcome of the game. I just didn't see the game. I try to go into the game with as little information as possible. Like, considering it's G2, of course I'm gonna see stuff on Twitter, right? Mikyx is probably the best support in the tournament right now. Potentially. Like, for me, the problem with this game was Hansama throwing his lead. I think if Hansama doesn't throw his lead and Yike plays more directly through bot lane when Hansama's that fed and is playing for bot lane T1, I think you're in a way better position here. I think that is my problem with G2. This game here, at least. But after the game, we can quickly recap it. Of course, I could, like, if, in case anyone is interested, I can look to review more from, like, LPL team side as well. But I'm a big EU fan myself, so I'm mainly focusing on what the EU team can do.
I mean, there's so many things to factor in. When we looked at how the early game played out, it was G2's bot side of the map.
Bird Visage. I guess Orianna Rakan shield? Rel does have shield? I guess? Cool. Usually we would see Abyssal Mask on like most Rels, right? Against like if you want to have MR. Because Abyssal Mask just gives you 10 million golden stats. Game shouldn't look like this after the first 10 minutes exactly. Hansama getting caught in bot, but also Yike being in mid, I think it's just a mistake. Like if you're 80 carries, if that fed, you just completely funnel through him, get bot lane T1, push it out, just get your 80 carry into mid and then play from there. And Kaiser got 2 kills was just really horrible, because at that point they can actually contest fights. Before you were just too fat for them to contest. Especially because the lethality build spikes so hard early on, of course. The early game, the gold that Kaiser gets matters a lot more, of course, in my opinion. How does G2 regain control of the map? I'd show you defensively taking waves on all 3 lanes. You're taking defensive rotations through the side of the jungle where the objective is spawning. Okay, you continue to collect waves. Are we gonna see a silent catch sort of play to enable you to contest? Well, currently do not, but you also don't have the option to. And you're just gonna TP, and you're just gonna pray to get... Wait, okay, what the fuck? Okay, wait, we just fucking creased. I mean, really well done by G2 to understand they need to like catch, so BB inside TPing and just going for it. Holy shit, what the fuck did Weiwei just do? Oh. Huh? Huh? I know people are memeing like on, but people memeing Crisp as well, because Crisp just completely griefed. Also, if you pay attention to Crisp entire game, you'll see how hard this guy creeps entire game. Okay. Oh, he did hit some really good Leona arse though. Do not let this guy touch Leona. But for me, it's not just like about him playing Leona. For me, Leona's just a way worse champion than Nautilus and Rel. So you'd always go through those champions. I don't know why you would ever pick Gisante when Rel is like open. Like, who gives a shit about Gisante? You give G2 a silent win condition. For what? For what? Oh, Mickey! Mickey! Once Stenum's harder to execute, you have to learn abilities when or not. Press R, how lose, yeah. I mean, similar thing if you're good on Rel. I feel, in a way, like, Rel is a harder champion, of course, right? But if you're good on Rel, Rel is so easy. Like, Rel does so much, especially like in low level of team fights. Of course, this doesn't matter as much for like these series. Oh fuck. But from the games I've seen, Rel can 1v19 fights so easily. So easily, man. Yeah, but now G2 can actually win. As you guys can see in the top left corner, 2.5k gold plus for G2. Plus, of course, the kills you got by killing Weibo. Get Nash so you can slowly start to take turns to regain control of your jungle, regain vision, and hopefully get yourself in a decent position for Elder, because you need to be on next mid lane wave if you can. GT is not in a good position to fight that though here. So you have to run through bot. So general thing, by the way, guys, we play on a back composition. Connecting through here when they already have control is giga impossible. Giga impossible. Especially on mountain map, because it's like, look at this shit, man. Like there's basically like 4 choke points. Like, it's so hard to fall back, right? But either way, the second you want to kite back and the enemy team has picks a position, as blue side, you have the major advantage of just going through bot. We just go through bot. Okay? Because why do we do that? Number one, here they get free flanks. Free flanks for front and back composition, really sad, right? Second thing, we need to walk in. We don't easily are able to walk back afterwards, right? Similar problem. Whereas if we walk through bot side, probably they don't have flanks as set up, or even flank vision, right? So for TPs, doesn't matter here, right? But it can matter depending on the fight. And it's really easy to just walk back. Okay, it's really easy to just walk back. So G2 just gonna walk through here and then look to posture. Maybe Yike is gonna look for flank, but I guess Mikyx is rather looking for flank. Mikyx is rejoining with this team. I wouldn't be surprised if Mikyx still just looks for flank though. I guess he maybe looks to anti-flank. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I guess anti-flanking is more important actually. Yeah, Mikyx just plays anti-flank. Good. Good. Makes a lot of sense. Ooh, that's not a good engage. That's not a good engage. Hansama still alive. Ooh, that's so much damage. Oop. Ooh, that like perfect route Q as well, man. Let's fucking go. Yeah, that was the perfect fight for. Oh, that was the perfect fight for Xayah. Holy shit. Oop. Oh. Orianna getting 3-man shockwave too. Yeah. Like, that is a perfect team fight for G2. By the way, guys, why does Weibo take this fight? And by the way, why does Weibo allow G2 to get the Drake? Because Weibo should just pull the Drake here. If Weibo pulls the Drake here, G2 is big sad. Big sad. Like, it's really good by G2 to get control of the Drake here. Look, and then we just pull it out. Why do we pull it out, guys? Why do we pull it out? Why do we do it here? Because it's hard to flank, and we have so much space to kite back on as the receive comp. It's such an in by Weibo to give the Drake, because now G2 is in position. If Weibo has the Drake here, Weibo is in position. You have easy flanks through here, right? You can even look to go for like over Dragon Wall, and then look to play here, right? You've got so much stuff you can do. But you give up Dragon control, you fall back, because you're looking for a big flank, but a big flank doesn't matter, because it doesn't do shit. Really good anti-flank by Mikyx. Hansama is really safe. And look, like, we just kite back like this. Like, if the Drake is here, like even here, Xiao can look for these sort of positions. Xiao can look to stand here, look for shuffle. Look where, like, if you're standing here, like, how the heck is Xiao gonna shuffle? It's never gonna work. The Xiao, like, is so late, needs to commit everything, and now he does get the shuffle, right? But it's just too late. It's just too late. Maybe just needs to commit earlier anyway, but it's just really hard. And it's all based on you dropping the dragon. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Nice. And now G2 can win the game. Yeah, we just take Elder Drake here. And then you... Wait, what? Okay, this is still the play from earlier. Huh? Wait, I'm so confused. Okay, this is still a play from earlier, from like 3 minutes ago. Okay, we just have like 5-minute replay. Okay, okay. And I'm so confused. Why the heck do we have 5-minute replay? Are you telling me nothing's happening on the map? I guess nothing is happening on the map. I guess it was just... Okay, G2 is just taking all of their camps right now. At 32 minutes, tier 1 top is still up. Yeah, tier 1 top is also like basically full HP. How much HP is it? Like 60%? Oh no, it's 40%. Yeah, 45. But yeah, I mean here you just... You're still fairly strong, you still have health for 1 minute, so maybe we can even get a fight. G2 should possession really aggressively. Yes, 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 really, really aggressively. Protect your minion wave. Protect the wave. Ooh, I really like what BB is doing. Oh, I really like what BB is doing. Ooh. Ansama? Okay. I don't know if you can finish here. Yeah, you should be able to. There are 15 seconds. Ooh. I'd like to thank Brother Crisp for his beautiful correspondence in helping G2 win. Wait, never mind. No, I didn't say shit. I didn't say shit. Please, 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 please. Caps, 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 caps. Please, please, please. Okay, 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 okay. My Xiaohu is still alive. Okay, we can't finish here. Oh! Okay, double TP. Oh, no. Oh, wait. Nah, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. No way, no way. Wait, Cap's just finishing? Nah, he can't finish. No way, no way, no way. No way, no way. Wait, but BB just killed them. This looks like a Scrim game. Honestly, I don't want to say it, right? But this game looks like a Scrim game. This is honestly a Scrim. People are saying scrims don't matter, man. Like, scrims actually prepare you the best. Scrims don't matter, then what the heck is that? Huh? What the heck is that? It also kind of plays into the idea that, like, what Caps talked about in, like, the G2 video, right? Where, like, all people are always saying, yeah, scrims don't matter, well, solo queue doesn't matter, like, spring doesn't matter. Now, all of that matters. Like, all of that is such good practice. Both in terms of... I think you can learn something out of every game you play, even if it's Giga Cringe, right? And one of the reasons why at TDS we had such insane scrims, next to of course having insane players and having an insane manager that for some hacking reason is just the god of finding insane scrims, right? But one of the big reasons why we also had big scrims, in my opinion, consistently, is that we never surrendered. I don't think there was maybe like one game where we surrendered in the scrim book since I joined TDS. I mean, they obviously already did it before, right? And for me, it's massive. Because imagine you're K-Corp, and you play against teams, and they perma-surrender because you are winning. Like, it's not fun to scrim then. But imagine you're playing against a team that is always fighting for scraps, that doesn't let you just finish. Well, now you really want to play. Now that is good practice. Right, same thing if you're an LEC team, like warming up, like playing against us is one of the nicer things to do. Because we're always giga tryharding. And for me, this sort of mindset is really what makes like a winning team. So when Caps had that sort of interview, I was like, really like, yeah, I agree. Like, it's not about the big gains. You're never gonna get big gains at an Apex level. It's the marginal gains. And the only way you get marginal gains is by continuously tryharding in every second of practice. Like, Chris was talking so much. Like, you see it in the cam. Chris was talking so much. But Caps is just walking in. Oh, wait, that is scary. Oh, no. No, no. Okay, Zonyas. Zonyas, Mikyx, zoning. And, wait. We just get elder position. When you wait, Hansama, what happened? No, not again, not again. Not again, Hansama. No, not again. Mickey, no. Into ult. Flash the Yike, BB is so good, man. BB is so good. BB is so good. BB is so good. BB is so good. What the You guys want to have the delusional opinion that the best player in G2 is Yike and after it's BrokenBlade. You want to have the giga delusional opinion? Yeah, well, Mikyx is also really good. But holy shit, man. In a game against DK, for me, BB was, by the way, the MVP. Now it's Mikyx or BB first. Honestly, recently, maybe. Like, at MSI for me was Yike for sure #1, right? But if you look at the DK game, for me, the DK game, the Cider Piggy, was BrokenBlade 100%. Like, BB's flank just solo carried the game. Just had such insane pressure. Ulting Vyquing with unit ruled. Oh, damn. Like, holy shit, man. Like, I don't want to fanboy, by the way. I'm not fanboying. I kind of am, but I'm fanboying for every U team. But holy shit, BrokenBlade is good. Okay, guys, quick recap from the game. Okay, quick recap. Because this is technically also going on YouTube, so we're like 1 hour in, okay? Or like 50 minutes in. What did we learn? For me, it didn't matter as much this game here, although Yone did do quite a lot in that game, right? But Leona was such a shit pick, right? That is why for me, either you don't pick a Z here, right? For me, you probably don't pick a Z here and you just go Nautilus ORL, right? Or at the very least, you pick it here. Going for Cassandra here, for me, is so stupid. It's not the best pick for G2, in my opinion. Although, of course, BrokenBlade is really good. And it's not that good of a pick for you. Honestly, Cassandra is a bad pick for you. Cassandra is only good if you blind pick. But why do you blind pick Cassandra here? Alistair is open. I just noticed. You could also do Alistair here, technically, yeah? But I don't like Alistair here either. I think Leona is actually still better than Alistair. Because you need backline access. Alistair never gets in range. Never ever does Alistair get in range. If G2 plays well. I feel like Alistair is really overrated in a way. What you should just do is you just pick Nautilus or well here or here. Picking Cassandra is giga legal in my opinion. For two reasons. Number one, you don't secure yourself a good engaged backline access champion. Right? G2 even picks it away, so that was really good by G2. In terms we're talking about the rail here, right? And the other big problem is you actually allow G2 to have a champion that can fix Sidon later. Which didn't matter that much that game, actually. But for me, it's still really, really important. Overall, the way G2 played early game, I think was pretty good. Only thing is that Yike did fall a little bit too far behind in the early game for my personal taste. Hansama get insanely strong though. And still really interesting about G2 is how aggressively they're permanently contesting the objectives. G2 really does not like to give an inch on the map. And for me, in a way, it's quite greedy. In another way, it's really interesting to watch. Because it's so weird for other teams to play that fast, right? And no one in EU does it, like G2 does. The big problem that I had with this game is how often Hansama got caught. Right? He basically got caught like 3 or 4 times. And especially here in the early game, you're not allowed to get caught like that. So here I like it, right? He's still playing for the bot lane T1, right? It's still one plating up. You're open towards bot. Really, really good. But now you're moving towards mid. Rakan is also moving towards mid. So it looks like G2 right now is mainly actually playing for some deeper vision into bot side jungle maybe. I don't know what they're currently doing. But Yike is hovering around mid. But we're still walking up in bot lane. Right? For me, it's a mistake by both Hansama and it's a mistake by Yike. For me, Yike should never be there. I think Yike should just continuously play through bot side. Right? That is your big win condition. But the same way Hansama should not just get caught here. Because he's the only way for Weiwei to get back into the game. And the big problem that you end up having here is who gets the kills? Well, Kaiser does. And Kaiser's playing lethality. And while the lethality build does fall off quite hard late game, right? The big problem that you still have is that the lethality build spikes insanely well in the early game. Kaiser gets a Q evolve really, really fast. And it's just stronger in the early game. So the gold that Kaiser gets in the early game matters even more. She just getting 2 kills here is horrible. You also lose flash, you lose ult on Hansama. It's a massive win. And it's a big mistake for me by Yike and by Hansama. And they continue to be like that because you also still later get caught on mid lane here as Xayah. And for me, it's just sad to see because you were in such an insane position from the early game. The Nash play in a way is bad for sure, and another way I understand the idea of it. I think you can technically argue it's part execution, because considering you can open towards mid lane here as Yone, and you don't have time to fix spots. I think it's fine to start it if you have the option to just go for multiple sweeps. So here, honestly, like if you're thinking about it, maybe Yone just gets sweeper as well, and you just go for like a bigger like sweep sort of tour. And then I think you can start it. It's greedy for sure, but I actually think it's doable if you drop it afterwards, after TP. Or if you play deeper for like for the zone, but I guess you're playing to rush it, so it's hard. But the idea of it, I don't even think is that bad technically. And then afterwards, honestly, Weiwei Gaming should have just won the game. They should have. But G2 really good at team fighting. I mean, there's one thing you gotta learn from like Puma fighting all the time, right? And that is that G2 is actually really, really good at team fighting. And honestly, just a massive win by Crisp. And also, by the way, you wanna get triple kill here or something? Could not have picked Yone like that in case you didn't just go Kusante. You would have a better pick here. You have a way better top lane. But you end up going Kusante because for some reason people think Kusante is OP. Yep. GG, bro. GG. Alright. In case you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, check out the Twitch link in the video description if you made it this far. Check out my Discord or Twitter to see when I go live. And otherwise, in case you do have any questions, just let me know. Either by watching or joining the stream. Always gonna do the stream daily. Usually afternoon / around lunchtime. And in case you have any questions, but you don't see me live, you can always just message me on Discord. I'm also watching these games to learn. So, in a way, I'm learning from these games, and I might also be wrong, right? So if you disagree, do let me know. As Piggy is saying in the chat right now, like and subscribe if you made it this far. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. And see you guys next time, okay? Bye-bye.